6 facts about the real-life hotel that inspired The Shining. Did The Shining scar you for life the first time you saw it? The classic horror movie has everything that could possibly creep you out and force you to run under your covers with no intention of ever resurfacing. Supernatural forces, the slow-burning insanity of main character Jack Torrance, and, most importantly, an isolated hotel in the mountains as the backdrop for the terror that ensues. If only you could visit the Overlook Hotel and feel the bone-chilling energy of the movie for yourself. Oh wait, you can. While the Overlook Hotel from the movie doesn't actually exist, it is based on the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, a 142-room colonial revival hotel nestled in the Rocky Mountains. Although parts of its interior have been renovated, the hotel still gives off a turn-of-the-century, ghostly energy that attracts tons of horror movie fans every year. Constructed in 1909 as a resort for the upper-class society of the Northeast United States, the hotel has retained its historic facade and even offers spirited rooms with high paranormal activity for lovers of ghosts and everything occult. 1. Stephen King was inspired to write the book because of a nightmare he had at the hotel. In September of 1974, Stephen King and his wife Tabby spent a night at the Stanley Hotel, room 217 to be exact, and were the only guests in the entire property. That night, King had a nightmare about his 3-year-old son running and screaming through the hotel's corridors being chased by a fire hose. According to King's website, he woke up sweating all over, within an inch of falling out of bed. By the time he got up and finished a cigarette, he had the entire premise of the book mapped out in his head. 2. The hotel was originally constructed for the region's curing properties against tuberculosis. In 1903, the inventor of the steam-powered car, Freeland Oscar Stanley, became afflicted with tuberculosis. The most recommended treatment was fresh, dry air and sunlight, so Stanley naturally headed to the Rocky Mountains with his wife Flora. As his health improved dramatically, he decided to turn Estes Park into a resort town for people looking to regain their health, and for the elite of the East Coast just looking for relaxation in the mountains. And just like that, the Stanley Hotel was born. 3. The hotel's founders can reportedly still be seen roaming around the property. Although hotel founder Freeland Oscar Stanley and his wife Flora died in 1940 and 1939 respectively, they never seem to have truly gone away, at least according to several hotel visitors. Mr. Stanley's ghost has reportedly been seen hovering behind employees at reception, and Mrs. Stanley can still be heard playing the piano in the hotel's music room. 4. If you decide to visit the Stanley, prepare for strange occurrences. Apart from sightings of the hotel's founders, every single room in the hotel has experienced a spooky, sinister event. Reports include clothes being mysteriously unpacked, lights going on and off, and objects moving on their own. Guests have even reported hearing children's laughter or the sound of someone running down the halls on the famously spirited 4th floor. The Stanley Hotel employees assure guests that their ghosts are happy ghosts, but I'd prefer not to risk it. That's just me, though. 5. The hotel was not the filming site of The Shining, contrary to King's wishes. Although The Shining is a critically lauded film with a performance by Jack Nicholson that will go down in history, Stephen King was actually not happy with the way Stanley Kubrick directed the movie version of his book. Particularly, Kubrick's decision not to film at the Stanley Hotel, which inspired the story. Kubrick made the decision to film in Hertfordshire, England, with some scenes in Montana and Oregon, since the Stanley lacked sufficient snow and electricity. Still, King was not pleased with the final product of the film and made it clear in several interviews. 6. The Stanley Hotel built a hedge maze in honor of the film. With ghosts, moving objects, and a paranormal past, the Stanley Hotel was just missing one thing: the hedge maze from The Shining that appears in its famous chase scene. To celebrate 20 years of owning the Stanley Hotel, John W. Cullen decided to build the maze for his spirit hunting guests, or just visitors in the mood for an intense game of hide and seek. Either way, I'm both scared at the thought of it and truly intrigued.